This is Seymour Rocks reporting from down under. So I'm reporting on what's happening in the Arctic, and it's all looking pretty alarming. In her midweek report on the Arctic ice, Margo has identified what I can only describe as a fraud to ensure that people do not easily identify what is happening at the North Pole. So in recent days, satellite pictures from NASA Worldview have shown how ice is breaking up within 20 or so kilometers of the pole. And luckily we have a view of how this looks from the ground. This is a view of the German research vessel Polish Stern, which reached the pole in 2020, but several weeks after today's date, sometime in August. And they reached the pole with absolute ease, and they recorded these sort of views of the North Pole. So this was also repeated in 2020. So the difference was that this year, the melt started at least 1 month earlier than before. We have now, this year, at least 2 weeks of high melt. And then there's another month as the sun goes down before the official end of the melt season. So an interesting phenomenon was identified by Sam Kirana of the Arctic News blog. He used the Earth at night filter, which is something that we usually use during the Arctic winter to get a sense of what's going on in the dark. So when you turn it on, this is how it looks. And if we go back to this picture of, and this, so this is the picture that Sam Kirana came up with, and it shows very, very clearly what we've seen in the other photographs, but it also shows what we haven't been able to identify, which is this melt here, very, very close to the pole. I mean, maybe not even 20 kilometers. In fact, actually, it looks as though it's happening at the pole. So this was taken with the filter on. So when we go on to NASA Worldview today, this is what it looks like, and you would be forgiven for thinking nothing much is happening. But if you turn on the Earth at night filter, this is how it looks. There's no nighttime view available for today. It only comes about a day afterwards. So that's from yesterday, or for the 26th. So okay, so and this was what was identified by Margo and how it actually looks. And then if you turn the filter off, this is how it looks. This is exactly the same view. Nothing has changed except the filter has been taken off, and gone are the views of ice breaking up. And in place of this, there is an impenetrable thick layer of cloud that's not there when the filters turn on. So I'll leave it to Margo to explain. However, I'll just make one extra point. In 2018, we came across a satellite picture that clearly shows what looked like chemtrails over the island of Cyprus. And so that came in a scientific paper. And then when I went to sort of check, for this same date, this is what I found. The chemtrails had been scrubbed and we had this in its place. So you've still got the clouds here to the west, but over Cyprus, it's a beautiful, clear day and the chemtrails are nowhere to be seen, blue skies. So that's not the only example that Margo and I have seen of NASA cutting and pasting. It's just the one example that has stayed in my mind and I could go back and find easily. So now let's listen to what Margo has to say.
And now I'm going to turn on the nighttime view. And we don't have any nighttime view for today. But we do have nighttime view for yesterday. And what I found was the reason I looked at this, even though it's all in the sunlight, Sam Carana added to his blog post a shot of the nighttime view here. Look at all this open water. Look at that. That is open water in between the pieces of ice. They've already had a cruise ship sailed to the North Pole 2 weeks ago here. Look at this open water down here. This is in high melt. All of this. And right here is the North Pole, right in the center. And here we can see open water, see the dark areas. And what was weird was, look at this, when you turn that layer off, and all we see is white. So they're covering up, they're just dropping in layers of white. See all that open water. Now watch. You can't see anything here without that layer. So they can't all be cloud cover, and we would not see open water like this through clouds. There's no cloud right there. Look at that. So they're screwing around with these layers. There's a lot more open water than we're aware of. And then I turn that layer off and there's nothing there. They put clouds over it. They're fake clouds. But they didn't put it. You can bypass that fake layer with the Earth at nighttime layer. So I think we're going to have to start using this layer to compare. Look at this. That is so clear. Let's see. That looks awful. And it's breaking up really fast and early. Robin and I were chatting yesterday, and we decided that the breakup near the North Pole is happening about a month earlier than it did last year. And of course, you know, there's so much breaking up. Look at that. And we've got cut and paste. See, these are two different images there. And they don't match up. And let's make sure, you know, they know, someone at NASA Worldview knows that I do Wednesday updates. They know I do Sunday shows and I do Wednesday updates. And so, see, I've got that layer turned on, Earth at night, but nothing's showing up. So, we can see there's no clouds or very little right through here. And that's open water. See that? Let's go to yesterday. See? There it is. You can see it. So they put in a layer. See, they put in that gray layer. They're calling it a cloud. But there's not a cloud. If that was a cloud, you would not see the dark area with the water. See, we've got clouds there that covers things up. There's some beaming. Look at that. Look at that. Now what? Here we go. Yeah, we got two separate images. Now the data comes in in increments, and it's in these pie slices, supposedly, I think. But look at this cut and paste. Look at the cloud here, and no cloud up here right next to it, just on the other side of that 20 degrees west line. So here, that's crazy, isn't it? So this whole area, and it's mainly north of the North Pole, is where it's the worst right now. And it's like right at the 80-degree north latitude. And then you can see it melting there. Here's another hole. Here's another hole. So, I'm falling asleep. Look at this. This is on the east side, southeast side of the North Pole. No, it's not. It's above the North Pole. So there's this whole area, and it just goes kind of northwest of the North Pole. See, huge area. And then right here, where it starts to get a little blurry, because they want us to not pay attention to this. Here's the North Pole. So this is not far from the North Pole. Lots of open water.